And so, at least for now, for the last video, I thought I'd just talk about the reality of things that are happening now, and that people around the world should realize that we're all the same. We're all in the same boat. It might be a little different where you are compared to, say, here. You may hate the West because of this or that, and the West may hate you because of this or that, but really, it's all been propagated by other people. And we're no different. We all bleed the same color. We're no different whatsoever. And this is the time now where we have to choose the right path. And we all have to basically decide, at the very least, where we want to stand. Do we want to keep trusting these people who've told you nothing and done all these things that you should know about already, that and on and on and on. You know, the church even looks quite guilty in so many stages of the game here, and they've said nothing about this either. So, you know, Megan Rice being put into sentenced along with Gregory and Michael, that really shows you, at least in the West here, that, you know, this terrorist bullshit is ridiculous. These three walked right into a fully supposedly secure nuclear waste site and hung around for a few hours before they even realized they were there. So, you know, this does kind of make you wonder, you know, what are they, this is baloney, the stuff that's happening, you know, it really is. And it brings down the walls because, especially, well, really everywhere. But in the West, you know, they propagate the terrorism thing, and you look at the Super Bowl, the guy just walked in there and walked up, you know, said to the guy, it's okay, it's been taken care of, and he walks right in and says his piece at the big mic and leaves, you know. Security has been lax here and always has been. There's no need to worry because they're either possibly doing this themselves or at the very least they're letting these people in to do this. So, you know, these are the questions you really have to ask yourself. And so everyone around the world has to decide whether or not they want to continue this way or they want to do something about it. And that seems to be really the only thing to do. I guess Ukraine would be a good example, and I realize that a lot of people think that this. One thing I guess I'd like to say is that these revolutions or uprisings, whatever you want to call them, civil uprisings, whatever, they all start honest and true. They really do. It's just once they start, a lot of people get involved to try and propagate them and turn them this way or that way. And we all know about that from years of watching this happen. And I think a really good example is, you know, Ukraine especially. Nobody puts their life on the line for a trade agreement. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. There's obviously way more going on there than just a trade agreement that the mainstream media likes to push. And like everywhere else in the world, there's corruption. And that's a big part of what happened in Ukraine. They'd had enough. And each side, they try to play each other off. And it's just my opinion that they really are all the same. They are the UN after all. For the first time, and I don't remember when, the United Nations Security Council actually unanimously decided to do humanitarian aid in Syria. Well, I should say during the genocide there, and yes, it is a genocide, clearly. 10% of the people ruling the other 90%, and they're slaughtering their own people. They have from the start. You haven't seen that because you weren't watching from the start. You, all these other people came in late to the picture when it had already been manipulated, and these people were here, and those people were there, and Russia was there, and Iran was there, and Saudi was there, and all these supposed terrorists, and da-da-da-da-da. And then you've got Iraq, who's totally on fire, and they're looking at Syria going, well, hey, maybe we could just take over Syria and have our own country. And then there wouldn't be any fighting and killing in Iraq anymore. You'd have the Sunni here and the Shia there, and Kurds have their own little area. So, I mean, there's all sorts of things that play into these, and you have to realize what's happening and not jump into them with a blind eye, thinking that, oh, it's all CIA all the time. Uh, Everybody likes to try and manipulate any revolution, and we've seen that happen everywhere. Egypt, Syria, uh, Libya was surprising to see NATO move in, and I won't get heavily into those sorts of things, but they had their own little mafia group. Every leader of the Middle East was a dictator in their country, and they had the Arab League, and they basically ran the Middle East. And then you have the Western worlds, and they ran their world, and then you have the Asians, and then you have Russia. And no matter what anyone says to you, they're all on the same team. They are, but they like to play each other off on each other. And that's just the way it works, and they make a lot of money doing that, and they don't mind killing people to do that. Because obviously, look at what's happening here in the radiation thing in Fukushima. They've done nothing, they've said nothing. Uh, you know, we're watching this from the beginning. We're thinking anybody with any kind of a brain was thinking, well, hey, this is such a big event. There's going to have to be a world collaboration here to try and deal with this. I mean, hell, Japan doesn't even have an army. They don't have an army like the Soviet Union did. So the world is going to have to come to fix this problem, because the world is at stake. Not just Japan or Northern Hemisphere, or whatever people propagate. The world is what's at stake here. And it was quite shocking, a week after, 2 weeks after, a month after, 2 months after, and we're at the 6-month mark, and then we're at the year mark, and now we're almost at the 3-year mark, and still nobody has come to the aid of the world. And well, they say they have. I heard a group of scientists were going to go there, but I haven't heard a thing since about it, because I don't think anyone would be allowed in there. But what I'm saying is, screw that. You just go in and do it. It's like, sorry, Japan, you guys can't handle this. And everybody's at stake here, and we're at the 3-year mark. We got to do something here. I don't know what they could do, but they haven't even tried to do that. Doesn't that make you wonder what the hell's going on here? The global warming thing has just been a scam run for 7 years. They'll be going on 8 or 9 by the time they actually make some sort of decision. And I haven't heard any real, actual solution to that, other than creating a carbon tax and trading pollution around the world. That's just not going to solve anything. And Al Gore, he did a great job with that bullshit, didn't he? I mean, that was his job, was to lose the election, give it up, and bring out the fucking global warming bullshit. And now they want to call it climate change, because it's climate's changing. There's so many hot particles flying around the earth, and they can change the weather anytime they want. But it looks at things here, some serious stuff going on. Now we've got a fire in New Mexico, nuclear waste fire. That's pretty serious stuff here. It's getting a little out of hand here, and this is only in Japan and the United States. Imagine if it started happening in England, and in France, and we've got Israel trying to blow up new plants in Iran. That's just crazy. That's just nuts, because you don't just hurt the Iranian government, you hurt the Iranian people, and you hurt everyone else around them and everyone else around the world. That's pretty fucking loony, really, when you think about it. Don't know if that's actually true, but it sure seems like it. You have to really wonder, what is really going on here. And so here we are in this situation. I've given one solution. I don't know whether it's the best one, but I don't know that we really have a whole lot of time to really fuck around anymore. It's just time to either put up or shut up around the world. I don't want to start something or create I just think that people should start talking about this, and each area will find their own solution to however they want to deal with whatever's going on there. I mean, your life and your children's lives are at stake, so what are you going to do? Kevin, it's been around, she's been telling you from the start what's what and what's going on. Megan Rice is willing to give her life for you so that you know what's going on. And no one seems to care, or they're just too busy trying to struggle to survive, or they're just too distracted by all sorts of other things going on. And there's lots of them. So anyways, thanks for listening. Bye-bye.